Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to SoulSpace Podcast number 158. Yay.
Oh,
Yeah. Today, we're going to talk about our topic freedom and living abundantly. And that's a huge part of freedom, right? So
right.
good. Yeah.
A lot of people equate uh, abundance with freedom.
Yeah.
When it comes to money, the freedom to do what you want to do, the freedom to choose, the freedom to go where you want. So a lot of people equate the two things, and it really is an important part of your feeling of freedom to live abundantly. And so it's truly an important topic when we're going over the topic of freedom to talk about this because everyone wants more financial freedom. I
Right.
mean, that's a huge part of living today is that financial abundance.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about that today and hopefully get you continually moving forward in that direction towards abundance
Right.
in all areas.
Yeah. Yeah. And abundance isn't just money, but money gives you that freedom that you can do more things, you can afford more things, not things, I don't mean it that way, but um, you can enjoy more freedoms really if you have more abundance around you. So, yeah.
Right. Especially time freedom.
Yeah.
When it comes to financial abundance, that does a lot of times allow people more time
Yeah.
to enjoy the things that they want to enjoy in life and do the things that they want to do in life and enjoy hobbies and expand their knowledge. It also allows you to take classes or go to school or, there's so many different things that it can help with. And it allows you to travel and go different places, allows you to give more and to bring about more of those joys in your life that people love to do and love to see and love to all of it. It all goes together. And so it is a big part of feeling free is that freedom that comes with abundance in
Yeah.
all areas.
Yeah. And time freedom is a huge one for a lot of
Mhm.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Let's let's go. Let's talk about a little bit about money and the law of attraction.
We both have this book this
Yeah.
time, which is nice. So we can share
Yeah.
each of us from the different pieces, but there's a few excerpts we wanted to go into here because we feel like they're really important when we're talking about this subject and helping us to get a real good grasp on how can we allow more of the flow of abundance into our lives? What does that look like? How does all of this come together for us to allow us to really allow that flow again? And that's really what it is the flow of the energy of abundance and allowing in all of the things that match that. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. What you want to start reading?
Yeah, I'll start. So the first section, if you do have this book by Happy Circumstance, it's by Esther and Jerry Hicks, of course. We are on page 61, which is entitled Attracting Money and Manifesting Abundance. I mean, does that sound nice?
Yes.
While
Sound
money is not absolutely essential to your experience, to most people, money and freedom are synonymous. And since an intense awareness of your right to be free is at the very core of that which you are, it follows, therefore, that your relationship with money is one of the most important subjects of your life experience. And so, it is no wonder you have such strong feelings about the subject of money. Although some people have discovered the freedom of allowing large amounts of money to flow through their experiences, it is more often the case that because you are experiencing far less money than you need or desire, most of you are not feeling free. It is our intention here to clearly explain why this financial disparity exists so that you can begin to allow the abundance that you want and deserve into your experience. For as you read these words and as you begin to resonate with these law based truths, you will align your desire with the abundance of your world. then the evidence of your newfound alignment will soon become apparent to you and to others who observe you. Whether you are one who has been working to achieve financial abundance for many years, or you are a youngster just starting down the path, the journey to financial well-being does not have to be a long one from where you are. And it does not require large amounts of time or physical effort, for we are going to explain to you in simple and easy to understand terms how to utilize the leverage of energy that is available to you. We want to show you the absolute correlation between the thoughts you have been thinking about money, the way you feel when you think those thoughts, and the money that flows into your experience. When you are able to consciously make that correlation and you decide to deliberately direct your thoughts accordingly, you will access the power of the universe, and you will then see how time and physical effort are rather irrelevant to your financial success. So we begin with the simple premise of your universe and of your world. You get what you think about. Often people say to us, "It can't be true because I have wanted and thought about more money for as long as I can remember, but continue to struggle with not enough money." And what we will then tell them is the most important thing for you to understand if you want to improve your financial situation. The subject of money is really two subjects. One, money, plenty of money, the feeling of freedom and ease that plenty of money can provide. And two, absence of money, not nearly enough money, the feeling of fear and disappointment the thought of absence of money induces. Often people assume that because they are speaking the words, "I want more money," they're speaking positively about money. But when you are speaking of money or anything, and you are feeling fear or discomfort as you speak, you are not speaking of the subject of money, but instead you are speaking of the subject of not enough money. And the difference is very important, because the first statement brings money, and the second holds it away. I think that's one of the most important things that someone could ever really come to grasp as a concept.
Right.
Of saying you want something is actually saying, "I want it, but I don't have it." And that's the vibration that is coming out. When you say, "I want it," you're saying, "I want it, but I don't have it." That's lack. That's on the lack end of the stick, as it were, as we've talked about the stick analogy before.
Yeah.
But saying, "I've decided to have it. I'm excited for it to come to me. And I'm so appreciative of all of the things that are coming together for me to achieve more abundance in my life." That's putting out the abundance of money, the abundance of abundance. That flow of energy is coming to you. And so there are two very different things. And I like they break it down of every subject is two subjects.
Right.
The having of it and the lack of it.
Yeah. 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 And if you're always thinking, "Oh, I can't afford that, I can't afford that," or, "Oh, I wish I could have this," that is giving a sense of lack always. You're never in that abundant energy. So if you switch those words up when you catch yourself doing that, that was one of the hardest things for me to grasp. And it's still a practice. I still catch myself sometimes thinking, "Oh, I wish I could afford that," or whatever, but I try to flip it as fast as I can. And uh, just if you say it a different way, rather than, "I can't have that right now," or "I don't have that money right now, but it's coming," then it feels better. You can feel it in your body as you talk about it.
How much better it feels. One of my favorite ways to put it is, if I see something and it's more than I want to pay for it, I usually like to say something to myself like, "I look forward to having the money to buy that."
Yeah.
Or, "I look forward to having the money to buy something like that one day," or, "That's going to be so much fun when I do purchase that." Or, something where it puts it in perspective and also allows my mind to remember that I live in an abundant universe and I can have that. I can have whatever I want.
Yeah.
I can allow myself the abundance to come to me in whatever way it's going to come, for me to be able to purchase that or something like it. And enjoy that, or even maybe get it as a gift unexpectedly. You never know how it can come to you. I don't even have to have the money to get it. Sometimes it just comes into your experience, and that's exciting too.
Yeah.
And so allowing more options of how something comes to you, allowing things to come to you in whatever way that is the highest and best way for the universe to bring it to you, the easiest way for the universe to bring it to you, opening that space again for the abundance and the things that you're asking for to come to you, or things like them to
Yeah.
come your way.
Yeah. And that's really, really important, is the allowing, to allow and not to be so tied to it that it's exact like a blue car. You might get a better car that's not blue, and you'll be much more happy, with it. So if you have a little wiggle room in your wishes, in your things that you want to come to you, the universe knows best what's for us, and if you're a little bit open to something even better, something better can come. And if we're so tied to exact things, and things is another thing, we want the abundance, to have the freedom to want what we want and to have what we have. And that allowing piece is huge, to be able to do that. Allow
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things for me, that kind of flips the switch for me every time I get in a different frame of mind, is to not have a specific how.
Right.
I think for me, that was one of the biggest breakthroughs that I've had abundance wise, is I can't say how I will receive it. Because that's the thing, is like, if you're worried about, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, and this is exactly how it's going to come to me, and it's going to look like this. I think that was the biggest thing for me, is letting go of that specific thing
Yeah.
of how, and just saying, I don't care how this works out. I just want it to work out in the highest and best way, in the way that is wonderful for all, and is something, and is in an easy and wonderful way for myself, in a flowing way
Yeah.
that feels good. And then it's like, whatever that is how it is. And that for me has changed a lot of things in my life, is like letting go of the how it'll happen.
Right.
I don't have to make it happen. I
No.
can
No.
allow it to happen in the plethora of ways that are available to me, and being open to receive it in those different ways. And that for me was a really big game changer in how things began to happen and click for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
consider that. Be open to other options besides how you think it should, or how it can
Yeah.
happen for you.
We're not in control of that ever, you know. And the sooner you admit that and be okay with that, the easier it is to start having things come to you. Um, it, I forgot, my thought went. Um, I don't know. It'll come back.
Yeah.
Something what uh the how. It was about the how. When sometimes you can say, boy, I'm going to put that on my wish list, when you see something really cool that you want, or that you'd like to have, and it might be out of your reach right now, but you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So if you just say, oh, that's going on my list, that's going on my list, that way it takes the how out of it. You just start keeping a list of things that you'd love to have, and or experiences that you love to have, and
Mhm.
they a lot of times show up somehow, and you don't
Yeah.
know. Sometimes you can look back and think, wow, isn't it crazy how that just manifested for me, or just came to me? And I know manifest is kind of overused nowadays.
It
Everything is
is.
about manifesting, but it is true. When you learn how to work with energy, you really can manifest things that you don't know how you could otherwise, when you worry about the how. It's not.
Right.
Mm, yeah.
It's all about consciously creating, and but also being in an allowing state. And that practice is not easy for all of us that love to be in control.
No,
But the better we get at it, the
yeah,
better our results,
yeah,
to be honest.
right.
When you were talking, Tracy, about putting something on your list
Mhm.
and not worrying about the how and just looking forward to it coming to you. So that actually reminds me of an experience I just had, if you don't mind me sharing.
Yeah.
Um, so at the beginning of this year, uh, my sisters and I decided to plan a 70th birthday trip for my mother.
Mhm.
And so we wanted to take a trip to a place we've never been before. We wanted to stay in an Airbnb and have like a nice pool. And like we were going to do all of these things. We want to take her to this one place.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about it, I was thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm going to afford that. Um, because with my circumstances as they were, I'm like, how am I going to save money? And I'm like, I really don't know how that's going to happen. But I said, okay, but this is important. We're going to go. I'm not going to let money get in the way. We're
Right.
going one way or another. I'm just going to find a way to do it. So, um, with that, I put it on my list. So I have my magical to-do list
Yeah.
that we talk about with the magic with Rhonda Byrne. And so I constantly am adding to the list, right? So I put it on my magical to-do list that we were going to take my mother on this trip, and I wasn't going to worry about the money. Instead, it's gonna come to me one way or another. I'm going to figure it out. I don't care. So after that, I just kind of forgot about it. I'm like, I'm making it happen. It doesn't really matter. It's like if I have enough money or not, we're going. So we're going, and I'm going to have enough money. It's going to be fine. And I just didn't really think about it after that. I'm just like, it's already happening. We planned it. We'd already booked it. Like we're going. Like I don't care. So the wonderful thing is, so after that, we were able to pay off my student loans. And then once we paid off my student loans, then I had that amount of money per month to start adding to my savings account.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Not only was I able to add enough to my savings account to cover that trip and then a little bit more just in case, but I also was able to save up for my surprise month off from work that I didn't expect to have, which just so happened to be when we planned to go on my mother's trip, and enough to cover my side of the expenses for a trip with my husband right before that. So not only did I get the surprise month off that gave me all of the time that I needed to go on both trips, but I
Right.
also was able to save up enough money for both of them and also to pay my expenses for that month off that I didn't expect to have. And I'm still going to be fine, plus the 2 extra weeks that I won't get paid at work until I've worked 2 weeks, right? So you never know how things are going to happen.
Yeah.
You never know how things are going to line up for you. And as those surprises come, sometimes they might not be your preference. Like, I'm like, I didn't expect to have an entire month off of work, not getting paid anything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when I was like, okay, I don't know how this is all going to work out, but I feel that it's working out for me. I know that it's working out for me. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to say, okay, universe, if this is what's happening, let's have it work out in the highest and best way. And then from there, I just felt good about it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to enjoy my time off. I haven't had that amount of time off in a long time. And
Right.
I'm going to be doing all these wonderful and fun things and whatever. And things just lined up for me. Does it always happen perfectly like that? No. But increasingly, it happens more and more like that for me because I'm allowing it to, because I'm in that space of receiving it, because I'm in the vibration of everything is working out for me more of the time.
Yeah.
And so what does it do? It works out for me.
It does always.
And that's the thing is like I'm just like, okay, that's on my to-do list. It's already happening. It's already, what I want is supported by the universe. What I want is supported by my vibration.
Mhm.
And it just is working out. It's totally fine. And I'm like, great. And I had just enough time for this and just enough time for that. And they're like, we are going to leave 2 days early. I said, all right, I'm back from my other trip. I'm going to take 4 days at home and go on the next one.
That is so
Crazy. We're
fun.
doing podcasts two at a time, you know?
Right. Yeah, everything happened perfectly, when you look back on it, and it always does, no matter if there's a little glitch or anything, it always works out in the end. So
Right.
if we can just let go a little bit and allow things to come, that can be even better than if we planned every moment. That, it's just an awesome way to live. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the thing is like, not everything that happened was my preference.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I found out I was going to have an entire month off instead of doing what I normally do in the summer, I was not happy about that.
Yeah.
I was mad about it. I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And this is a surprise. And how much time do I actually have to plan this? And, how much money can I actually save? And I also have the trips coming up. And I was like in a tizzy for a little while. And then I realized, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, Carissa, what are you doing? And then I'm like, okay, is that what I want? No. I want everything to work out for me. I want everything to feel good. I want to have enough money for all of these things and to be able to save enough money for a time off, all of it. And so I told myself, okay, what do I want? And then from there, I went to, okay, what was the story I need to tell myself then? What do I need to know? What do I need to believe? What do I need to feel? What do I need to be putting out there into the universe? And that was, everything is working out for me. And guess what? It did.
Everything did.
And
Yeah.
it still is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm enjoying all of it.
Right. Yeah. It's so awesome.
That's the art of allowing.
It
It
is.
really is.
Yeah.
And we try to share our personal stories with you guys so you understand that what we talk about has relevance to your own life. It has relevance to our lives, and which is why we go through these topics and these teachings, because we found what works for us and we want to share that with you because we want you to live an abundant, happy, wonderful life. We want you to have the things that you want to have. We want you to enjoy the life while you're here. And we want you to take your life further than you could ever have dreamed was possible because everyone deserves that. You deserve that. You deserve it.
Yep. It's so awesome and so good and so fun to think about those things and just see what you can magically create in your life by allowing and by dreaming more and writing those things down and putting them on your list and making your magic to-do list like you do. That is so important to have that. The energy of those things are there when you do stuff like that. And that's what makes it happen. It really, really does. It's so cool.
I think one of the most fun parts is looking back in retrospect and
Yep.
how all of those cooperative components had to come together to create what you were asking for and not realizing that some of those things that felt negative at the time were actually needed to
Yep.
move forward with all the other plans, right? And so looking back on that, it's like, oh, yeah, I didn't want that at the time, but hey, that kind of worked out, didn't it?
Right. Yeah. And it's a really important to think about that when things aren't going right at the time. You don't think they're going right, or something happens, your car breaks down or whatever. It it usually means that there's something down the road that's going to be so much more awesome that it had to happen for this good thing to happen, right? So try to remember that when you're having a bad day and things are going off the rocker, okay, that means there's a breakthrough coming or something's going to happen down the road that's going to make me laugh about this someday, so yeah, it's important to keep your head on straight when you're going through the bumps in the road because it's always working out for you in the end. So, just get through those times and the rest is fun. You'll have a lot more and you appreciate the things that do come randomly and with work, and you'll just appreciate life more that way when you look for the good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, now that I went on a tangent.
Yeah. Should we go to the next one?
Yeah. So we were talking about how it's two subjects, really, the lack of it and the abundance of it, right?
Yeah.
Of abundance. Okay. So we talked about the difference is important because the first statement brings money and the second holds it away. So it is of value for you to become aware of how you are really thinking and, more important, feeling about money. If you are thinking or saying things like, oh, that is a very beautiful thing, but I cannot afford it, like we were talking about earlier,
Yeah.
You are not in a vibrational position to allow the abundance you desire. The feeling of disappointment that is present as you acknowledge that you cannot afford it is your indicator that the balance of your thought is pointed more toward the lack of your desire than toward the desire itself. The negative emotion you feel as you acknowledge that you cannot afford something that you want is one way of understanding the balance of your thoughts. And the amount of abundance that you are actually experience is another way of knowing. It tells you in those words what your set point is. Where are you at? What's my experience currently? That tells me where I'm at, but it also tells me, what direction do I need to go?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Many people continue to perpetuate the experience of not enough in their lives simply because they do not think beyond the reality of what they are actually experiencing. In other words, if they're experiencing the shortage of money and are aware of it and speak of it often, they hold themselves in that chronic position. And so many people protest when we explain to them the power of telling the story of their finances as they want it to be rather than as it is, because they believe that they should be factual about what is happening. But we want you to understand that if you continue to look at what is and speak of what is, you will not find the improvement that you desire. You may see a parade of changing faces and places, but your life experiences will essentially show no improvement. If you want to affect the substantial change in your life experience, you have to offer substantially different vibrations, which means you must think thoughts that feel different as you think them. I love that.
I
I
love it.
love it.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next section,
Yeah.
which is on page 72, if you're following along.
Yep. You want me to read there?
You want to do that one?
Yep. Okay. So, what is my financial abundance story? Something to think about.
Mhm.
This is Abraham talking. A belief in lack is the reason that more people are not allowing themselves the financial abundance they desire. When you believe that there is an infinite pile of abundance and that there is not enough, and there is, oh, sorry. When you believe that there is a finite pile of abundance and that there is not enough to go around, and so you feel injustice when someone has more than others, believing that because they have it, others are deprived of having it. You are holding yourself apart from abundance. It is not others' achievement of success that is responsible for your lack of achievement, but rather it is your negative comparison and your attention to the lack of your own desire. When you feel the negative emotion that you feel as you accuse others of injustice or of squandering wealth or hoarding, or when you simply believe that there is not enough to go around, you hold yourself in the position of denying your own improved condition. I love that he says that here. You know, there's enough abundance around for everybody. We don't have to be jealous of someone because they make more than we do or anything like that. There's always enough for everyone. And that is something that I don't know, it's a mentality that people get somehow, that there's going to be a lack if someone makes more than you do. And it's just silly when you think about it. It doesn't matter what anyone else is doing. And my favorite quote from Wayne Dyer is what other people are doing and what other people think of you is none of your business. So don't go there when you catch yourself thinking, oh, they have so much money, they don't know what to do with it. Don't think that way. It's their business what they're doing with their money, and it's your business when you're thinking about your own abundance. So, yeah, I love that. Okay, what anyone else has or does not have has nothing to do with you. There it is. There it is.
Mhm.
The only thing that affects your experience is the way you utilize the non-physical energy with your thought. Your abundance or lack of it in your experience has nothing to do with what anybody else is doing or having. It is only to do with your perspective. It is only to do with your offering of thought. If you want your fortunes to shift, you have to begin telling a different story. So good. So tell the story of, wow, I get to have this because that's what I wanted. Wow, it's going to be so fun to go on this vacation. You know, I can drive any car I want to drive because I can afford it. And, just telling your story the way you want it to be rather than the lack of how it is.
Mhm. You're
It's
right.
huge. And you don't
It
have to
is.
be feeling like, oh, I'm lying about that, or that's not really the truth, because you have to be who you want to be right now. And in order for you to have the things that you want to have, right?
Right. One thing I was thinking about yesterday that really tied into this and made me think about what we're going to talk about today was um, fake it till you make it doesn't work vibrationally.
No, no,
It really doesn't. And so it's important to think about the thoughts that you're thinking. So if you're thinking a thought, it doesn't have to be specific on the thing that you want.
right.
It doesn't. In fact, sometimes that actually gets in your way because some people are saying, well, I have to focus on the thing that I want, focus on the thing that I want. Well, sometimes when you're focusing on the thing that you want, what you feel is the lack of not having it yet.
Mm. Yeah.
And so thinking about different ways of, I'm so excited to see how things are going to work out for me. I'm so appreciative of the universe lining things up for me. I love that I'm going to see how this adventure unfolds and the treasures are going to be found every day, rather than thinking about sometimes the specific things that you don't have, which can actually create resistance. It can be helpful to think thoughts that feel good when you think them. Because if you're thinking the thought and it feels good, then you're in that abundant side of the stick, right? But if you're thinking a thought about something that you want and it doesn't feel good, you're on the lack end of the stick. And so you need to flip the script on that and maybe think about it in a more general way that feels better. Sometimes general is better. Sometimes specific actually makes us feel worse. So kind of think about, how am I thinking about this subject? How am I thinking about money? How am I thinking about, and what side of the stick am I normally on? And how can I flip that? Maybe by being more general about it.
Mhm.
I kind of had these thoughts rolling around in my mind because sometimes people get in their own way by trying to focus too hard on the things that they want rather than focus on creating the vibration that matches
Ex-
what they want through their thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. And, if you're stuck in that wanting something specific, or how am I ever going to get that, or I want it, I want it, I want it, even switching your whole energy up into just being happy about anything, just focus on feeling good. Go to a comedy movie or watch a comedy on TV, or, watch funny videos or funny animal videos or something. Anything to get your vibration up when you're feeling stuck or in that lack mode is going to help you let go of that and get in that allowing state. It doesn't have to be about the subject that you're trying to create. Just feeling good is going to help you get there. Yeah. Yeah. So important.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so many people criticize those who are living well, who accumulate land and money and things, and that criticism is symptomatic of their own lackful habit of thought. They want to feel better and often believe that if we can make that which they are unable to achieve wrong, then they will feel better. But they never do feel better because their attention to lack perpetuates lack everywhere they look. They would not feel uncomfortable in seeing someone else's achievement if that desire for achievement were not present within themselves as well. And that criticism that they often keep alive within themselves only serves to hold them in vibrational discord with what they want. In other words, if someone called you on the telephone and said to you, "Hello, you don't know me, but I'm calling to tell you that I will never call you again," you would not feel negative emotion about the caller's absence from your life because his or her presence was not something that you desired to begin with. I love that story. But if someone you care about were to make an announcement to you, you would you would feel strong negative emotion because your desire and your belief would then be at odds. When you feel negative emotion about anything, it always means that you have a desire that has been born from your personal life experience that you are right now opposing with other thoughts. Vibrational discord is always the reason for negative emotion. And negative emotion is always guidance to help you redirect your thoughts to find vibrational alignment with who you really are and with your current desires. So good. So, always pay attention to how you feel. Where are your emotions? Check in with yourself. If you start feeling off, okay, what's going on? Where am I not aligned right now? What can I do to help get my mood up or feel better, get that better feeling coming instead of staying there? A lot of times, staying there wondering why is not going to get you there. It doesn't matter why.
Holding you away.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't matter why. Just go find a better feeling. Just go do something that's going to raise your vibration and make you feel better.
Because a lot of times the why is the resistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is this happening? Is you holding yourself away and that lack of you saying it's not working out for me, where your other half, your spirit self, your higher self, yourself that knows
Right.
what you don't know, the bigger picture is saying, no, it's over here. Everything's working out for you over here. If you'd only come this way, release your resistance and come this way and know everything is working out for you despite what you see in your current experience. If you come this way and allow it, everything is working out for you. Stop holding yourself over here.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm holding myself over here. And then you just feel awful. Well, like you said, what's the way to release resistance is to find a better feeling, find a better thought, start to release that negative feeling, that negative emotion, and release the having to worry about the why and the how and all of that. And moving into what feels better, that relief is showing that you've made a move toward allowing what you do want again, toward that better vibration, toward things on their way back to you again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
I love that section. That's one of my favorite sections. That's why I was like, we have to do that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have one more piece that I think really goes along with all the things that we've talked about. And this is kind of one of my favorite subjects because a lot of us have this thought, right? Because we're on page 79 and it's entitled, and it's Jerry Hicks having a conversation with Abraham, right? And so his question is about, they want to win the lottery fortune, right? A lot of people talk about wanting to win the lottery. Well, that is an option. So let's talk about it.
Okay.
Many people are hoping for some major financial windfall to come to them to free them from debt or to release them from working at something they don't want to work at in order to receive money. And this is Jerry talking to Abraham. The thing I hear them say most often is that they want to win the lottery, where they'll get their abundance in exchange for someone else losing theirs. Abraham's response is, if their expectation were in a place that would allow it, then it could be a way for money to come to them. But most know the odds against that. And so their expectation for winning the lottery is not in a powerful place either. Jerry says, so how does hoping to win relate to expecting to win? Abraham says, just as hoping is more productive than doubting, expecting is much more productive than hoping. Jerry says, then how could people begin to expect something that their life experience hasn't yet shown them? How can you expect something that you haven't experienced? A very good question, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Abraham says, you do not have to have money to attract money, but you cannot feel poor and attract money. The key is you have to find ways of improving the way you feel from right where you are, from right where you stand, before things can begin to change. By softening your attention to the things that are going wrong, and by beginning to tell stories that lean more in the direction of what you want instead of in the direction of what you have got, your vibration will shift. Your point of attraction will shift, and you will get different results. And in a short time, because of the different results you are then getting, you will then have beliefs or knowledge of abundance that will easily perpetuate more of the same. People often say, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And that is why. Look for reasons to feel good. Identify what you want and hold your thoughts in a place that feels good.
So true. And that good feeling is the main event. We need to stay in that feeling good state in order for us to start to draw those good things towards us, and allow them in. If we keep pushing them away, it's telling the universe, oh, I guess they don't want that. I guess they don't want the good things. I guess they don't want the fun or the abundance or whatever it is. So we need to be open and allow that stuff in and think about it and feel.
Right.
Always look for the things that feel good, no matter what it is. Even if it's having a popsicle or, going out to eat or whatever it is, do those things that keep you feeling good, not the things that draw you down or bring you back. Yeah.
Right. And it's those things that consistently feel good,
Yeah.
like thinking about puppies and going outside and enjoying the sunshine and, simple things like listening to your favorite music, simple things like that keep you on that even keel, because what you feel is the vibration you're putting out, and your vibration needs to match those things that you want in order for you to be a cooperative component to receiving them.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's simple, but it's not simple in practice. It does take work to stay at that feeling of abundance, that feeling of feeling good, and that space when your current experience might be in opposition to that.
Right.
It takes practice to be able to say, okay, but that's my current state, but that's not how I feel. I know that something better is coming to me right now. And to be able to do that, it takes practice, folks.
It does.
But it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. And a lot of times we complicate it in our head. We try to make things harder than they have to be all the time. But when we practice and learn what we're thinking and pay attention to how our body is feeling, it tells us everything we need to know. And it makes it a lot easier if you can just open your mind and open up to knowing that we don't have to push all the time and stress out about things. We can just look for that next good feeling, that next higher feeling on the list, and things will start to flow.
Right. The worrying just holds you away from what you want.
It really
because when you worry, you are putting out a negative vibration. If I don't have it, I'm never going to have it. Oh my gosh, what if all these things happen? That's lack, guys.
Yeah.
That is completely the opposite end of the stick that you want to be on. But when you get to the other side and you're like, okay, I know that everything is working out for me. I know that things are on their way and I'm appreciative. And I can't wait to watch for the little breadcrumbs that show me that I'm on the right direction. It's kind of like a little treasure hunt that we're on in life, right? Your perspective matters. How you view your life and how you see it and how you feel about it matters. It's the story you continue to tell yourself. What is your current story? If you're not sure, look at what your life experience is at this moment. That will tell you the story you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
And then it'll also tell you how you need to flip it.
Yep.
What are the patterns? How can I flip the script? What are the ways that I want it to be better? And how can I begin to think and feel that way
Right.
about my life?
Yeah.
And how can I change the story? And that's one of the most important pieces that Abraham has ever talked to us about is the story you tell yourself is the story you will perpetuate.
Yeah.
The story that will continue to show up in your life.
Yeah.
And we can change that.
You can.
Yes.
And it can be easy.
Yes.
It can be. Yeah.
Something worth having doesn't have to be hard to get.
Mm.
It can be super easy. It can be free. I mean, my favorite price for anything is free 99, you know? So that's the thing is like, it can be easy. It should be easy. It should be much easier than you're making it. You're making it harder with your back and forth and you're worrying about this and you're worrying about that and you're thinking about how is that going to happen? Blah, blah, blah. No.
Yeah.
That is not helpful for you. It's holding yourself away from the things that are trying to make their way to you. You need to line up with them vibrationally, which means feeling good, feeling wonderful, enjoying what you currently do have and looking forward to even better and having the expectation. And I think that's one of the most important words to hold into your mind, the expectation that what I want is on its way to me. I expect it to come.
Yeah.
If you can work on expecting it to come and being excited for it to come to you, that will make a huge change, just that subtle little shift. Because positive expectation is one of the most powerful tools in your toolbox that people don't ever think about.
Yeah.
But that you should.
And once you learn to think about that, it gets easier and easier for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just like for me, when I said, well, I'm going on this trip and I'm going to look forward to it. It's going to be a ton of fun. I already was expecting that I was going on this trip and I was going to be able to afford it and everything was going to work out for me. That was my expectation. Guess what happened?
Yeah. And it happens like that every single time. If you just think, oh, someday I'm going to go on this trip. Someday I'm going to do this. That someday is never going to come if you don't actually put that into motion and go, set a date. Even if it's not an exact date, set a date, next year I'm going to do this. Within the next year, I'm going to do this. And you will. It will come. As long as you follow those signals that you get, you're going to go and just keep planning. And if you hit a roadblock, no, I'm not taking that. I'm going, I'm doing this, whatever it is. It might be getting a different job or doing something. I want to take this class. Okay. Next time this class comes around, I'm taking it. I don't care what I have to do to get there. I'm taking it. And you will get there. You will be able to do that. If you don't take no for an answer, if you tell the universe that's what you want and you take steps to get it, you're going to get there.
This is the only possibility is that I'm doing this and it's happening. One of my favorite things that I've ever heard Tony Robbins say, and it's stuck in my head ever since I heard him say it, was, if you want something, burn the boats.
Yeah.
And what he means by that is if you want something, the only possibility is that you succeed at it, is that it happens for you, is that you expect that it's happening and it's working out for you in whatever way. Because he talks about the analogy of, if you go to this island, say if you ride a ship to the island, and the only way that you're going to learn to survive and do all the things that you need to do and create success is to burn the boats.
Yeah.
Because if you have a plan B, then you expect plan A to not work out.
Right. Yeah.
And so one of the things that he teaches is that if you want something, the only possibility is that it works out for you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
There's no plan B. These are the things that I want. This is what's happening. It doesn't have to be in any specific way. I'm not going to worry about the how. The how will work itself out. This is what I want. It's working out for me. That's the only attitude that I have.
Right.
That's burning the boats. There's no plan B for that. Right? There's only plan A.
Right. Yeah. No excuses. When those excuses come up in your head, no, that's not an answer. You can't go there. You can't let those excuses that, oh, I'm too busy to do this, whatever. You can't let that get in your way if it's something that you want.
It's all doubt. And what is doubt? Doubt is fear, which is lack.
Yeah.
Right? And so doubting yourself and your ability to get something or achieve something or have something is that resistance is holding you back. That's a lack. That's a lack mentality. Fear is lack.
Yeah.
And so worry is lack because it's based in fear. And not believing that you can have something is lack because it's based in fear that you're not good enough or you can't get it or you don't have enough money. That's all fear. That's all lack. And so if we can begin to let go of that,
yeah,
your circumstances will change.
They will. They will. Yeah. It's practice. It's just practice. You have to start somewhere. Just start. And then you'll
Start from where you're at.
Start where you're at. And
wherever you're at is just the bouncing off place for more, as Abraham would say. And it's one of my favorite things that they say.
That is a good one. Yep. Yep. So I hope you'll have fun with this week and start thinking about, what do you really want? What are some things you want to put on that list and manifest and get there, achieve those things. Start somewhere. Start today.
And what's the story? What is the story of me having that? And what does that look like? What does it feel like? What is the story I need to begin to tell myself in order to be in vibrational alignment with having these things that are already created and trying to make their way to me? What story do I need to begin to tell? And how can I begin to tell myself that story? Those are all really good questions to ask yourself this week.
It really.
I'm asking myself this week those questions.
So fun. I love this book. It's such a good one.
It's a great book, and it's one that not a lot of people seem to bring up.
Yeah,
read, and it's filled. I mean, we read just a couple of pages. This is a gold mine. Not one.
In more ways than one. It is a gold mine. Yeah. So next week we're still in July. Yay. So we'll have one more week of our
more to come.
Yeah. So Carissa, where can we find you in this wonderful world of internet or other?
Well, if you want to find me somewhere on the internet, you can find me on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. You don't even have to have Facebook to find me there. Just go facebook.com/Light of Hope Healing, and that's where you'll find me. We are on Facebook together at our SoulSpace. You can find us on YouTube at SoulSpace Podcast, which is probably where you're watching this and or listening to this.
Yep.
And then if you want to look at my Square site, where you can book with me and find some different things that I'm doing right now, it's light-of-hope-healing.square.site, light of hope healing with a bunch of dashes in between it, .square.site, which you can also find on my Facebook page. That site, hopefully, if it's still there, because Facebook is weird. But that's where you can find me if you wish to. I will also be doing some expos coming up. September, I'm going to be in Deadwood.
Yay.
The weekend of Labor Day, that Saturday, and we're doing the Deadwood Expo, and it's at a different venue this year. And so it's going to be really cool to see that new venue. I'm really excited about it.
Awesome.
And so I'll be there for a few days. And then November, I have Fargo and Bismarck as well again. So I'm going to go to those places and see all my peeps and meet some new ones.
Yeah.
So, Tracy, if people want to go a little deeper into what you're doing these days, where can they find you on the wonderful world of interwebs?
My website is inspiredsignals.com. I am also on Instagram and Facebook at Inspired Signals or Inspired Signals Studio. Either one will find me. And that's it. All my links are actually on my website, so you can just go there and find them. So,
Website.
yeah, imagine that.
Good idea.
Yeah. All right, guys, we will see you again next week. Have an awesome week and play with the energy of abundance. Bye-bye.
See you next week. Bye.